So like you see there, you have people from the different embassies, people from the diplomatic corps, like we said, are also arriving to see how they can get a glimpse, to see how they can get a clearer picture in terms of where the president vision, actually will go, and that will also enable them in terms of how to help the government into the process, in terms of providing aid, providing support financially, and so on. In terms of capacity building, they are also there to budget. So they are there in the numbers to see how they can have the seat, and also look at the issue of where can we have in terms about the president, instead of the nation's address. The president talked about agriculture, the president talked about road, the president talked about infrastructure here, the president talked about education. Yes, indeed. So you have to see all of them, go in the joint chamber to have their seat and critically analyze the president's speech and see how they can communicate with so as you can see, the entire place is
exactly
swelling.
Exactly. So even on the outside, what we've seen more and more officials of government. We've seen more members of the international community. Outside here, we see a van from the 14th military hospital. That shows that in case of any medical situation, we are covered. It is my understanding that there are other arrangements for in case of any emergency. And I can safely say there seems to be a lot more organization this time around than the last time.
The nations are just because this is where you see the zest in the people, you see the happiness in there. This is what you also see on the side, under the canopy, where you see Liberians who are invited for the cabinet meeting. Some of them
members of the bench, the associate justices, as you can see, they are marching to take their seats. Chief Justice said, the other day she was here administering the whole of office. Today she just discipline instead of the nation address. But comparatively of Monday to today, you have a lot of people on this ground as opposed to today. Today you don't see a lot of people here because I see real and I think everybody
it would seem to me that this is taking hold because this place is sparsely crowded. I mean, it's a beautiful place to be. The culture troupe is playing, the language, everything
you see the kids already.
You can see the orderliness.
Today is a different occasion where the president is presenting his legislative agenda, the expenditure, the income, the government. So a lot of people won't be here. Some of them are watching the television and monitoring the television, monitoring radio to hear what will happen because they know very well that the president is today, implementing Article, doing Article 58 of the Liberian Constitution, which says that the president, it's a constitutional requirement that mandates the president to do so or present his legislative agenda to the members of the legislature on the fourth working Monday each year in January. Yeah. So this is what the president does. So you expect. So a lot of people won't gather here because the president won't be on Saturday. The president will be in the joint chamber where you have the Speaker of the House of Representatives Councillor J. Konatu Kofa will be presiding. So a lot of people feel that coming here, the president won't be yours. What am I doing there? And I think it's better to monitor the television, monitor LNTV.
I think that's where I'm coming in. I mean, I would say moreover, the awareness has been out there. Live wherever you are, and there's no need for you to bother coming,
especially in the rural area.
Yeah, in the rural area, other radio stations, community radios will relay the information to you. So there's no point in coming here, and we have a crack team of LBS and other journalists who are here to bring you this particular occasion in full. So I think Chairman Dan was right to say just stay home if you don't have an invitation. I can assure you with ELBC, LNTV, and other journalists, you will not miss a cake. You will get everything.
Oh yes, so all the bits and pieces. They will also get all the bits and pieces because we are using all medium. You go to Facebook, LNTV is there. You go live, we're also there. You go on the radio, we're also there. So it's a joint, preparation, giving the true meaning of the state radio, the performance and what we intend to do to the public. So like you leave from here now to Maryland County, that John Liberia, the 1857. So you understand that LBS, LNTV also there. You can watch it everywhere around Liberia, even Lofa County. It is clear. So there's no need to come here, watch the television, follow it, and hear what the person is saying to the public. Although a lot of people, the issue of their expectation very high.
Yeah, so yeah, something as you can see, you see some cultural performances there, and that speaks highly of our cultural, values and heritage and where we've come so far as a country. So a beautiful occasion, and I guess if you were here, it's good to be here joining you live from the grounds of the capital here in Monrovia. We are coming to you live from the Liberia National Television, Antonin Vow and Samson David, and we'll be joined by Cecilia Clark. It's a crack team of professionals and making sure you get all the happenings here on the grounds of the capital here in Monrovia. And a moment from now, we'll be joining what will be happening within there because it's already 3:15. You have about 45 more minutes to go. So I'm sure in a moment maybe the president, because according Dan has said, President Bwaga will come in a bit before he takes the podium. So it's a beautiful occasion. On the screen you see lawmakers. I see Emmanuel Famule. Emmanuel Fole is a representative of District Number 7, Bon County. I also see the list of Eugene Colley. Eugene Colley comes from the Bon County District 5. He's a PUP candidate. You can also see the legs of Ellis Noah, Sano County. So I mean, they already started. Musa Kamara he's trying to have a seat, and Simon Taylor, young fellow there. So yeah, the lawmakers, because they are the ones to get started before any official business starts. So once the session is called to order and the speaker does his presiding, the next thing that will be followed will be the arrival of the president. And as soon as the president mounts in, you go straight to the podium to.
So I was coming. You guys have been covering the capital all this time. What do you expect it to look like? Is the president going to move quickly to the stand as soon as he gets in to deliver the state of the nation? Okay, our colleague has joined us, probably to give an opportunity to just throw some light.
Yeah.
So first thing I like to start from: women are usually very organized. I'm not saying men are not, but I see that this is a very organized occasion. Things seem to be in place. Just give us your impression about the general organization of this event.
Yes, of course. I'm Cecilia Clark, and we are here live from the Liberia Broadcasting System. That's the Liberia National Television, to provide full coverage on the President's State of the Nation address, expected to be given by 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock, and this is in consonance with Article 58 of the Liberian Constitution, the 1986. I almost said it.
So there's a speaker, Fonati Kofa.
That is our speaker. Kofa.
He's already gone to his
already
seat.
Seated because the program is such that the speaker is going to. They are going to have a session,
a joint session,
and a meeting to 4. The president will be escorted in the hall, and then he will, as soon as it is 4 o'clock, he will start his State of the Nation address. And this is in consonance with Article 58 of the 1985 Constitution, which make this the president to address the nation on the fourth working Monday
Yes.
in January. So we are here providing live coverage, as you can see in the joint chambers, like you were saying, it was a speaker that is seated now, and a minute from now they are going to convene a session, of course, which the only agenda item for that session would be the president State of the Nation address. But
Yes, I don't know why they got left off. They should come here because they are our legislative reporters.
I mean, don't worry, don't worry.
They should be okay.
Don't worry,
You have been here yourself. Good.
I covered the House of Representatives and the Liberian Senate.
So let's just look at how that process rolls out. The whole process of convening the joint session, the whole process of welcoming the president, the whole process of the president delivering the State of the Nation address. Just drill us through that.
Yes, like I was saying, the president, the session is about to be convened by the both houses, and that is the Liberian Senate, and the House of Representatives. They will raise a motion, and then the motion will usher in the president. And like I said, a minute or 2 minutes to the time, the president will be ushering. Of course, the only agenda item on that agenda is the president's message to the nation. And before they I told you, it is in consonance with Article 58 of the Constitution, which mandates the president at this time of the year, the fourth working Monday in January, to address the nation via what is ongoing now. But on the flip side, we already saw the arrival of I'm told, a special guest of honor. He's a Sierra Leonean president.
The vice president.
The vice president, I'm sorry, and he arrived already. We see dignitaries
Okay, folks, just stick on. Welcome to the broadcast. Welcome. Of course, we are waiting for audio feed to come through. We'll be able to bring you all the information. As you can see, the State of the Union. You've already seen the Chief Justice, Justice Sianeyo, and her colleagues just made their way into the hall. The Speaker of the House, Jay Funatikofa, has already taken seat as well, so they can convene the session. So wherever you are, join us. As soon as we get the live feed, I'll be off the screen to be able to bring you the full information, the full program. So this is what's happening. This is Joseph Numa Boakai, first State of the Union address to the nation of Liberia. Just a week of being sworn in as president of the Republic of Liberia. This is his first State of the Union address. Very soon, the guys are working on the audio, but still tone. You'll be able to see all the happenings from here through our colleagues, LBS, as well, collaborating um, everything right now. So, what are your thoughts? What do you think is in the message to the nation? His first message, of course. Joseph Nima has been very, very consistent when it comes to his message from the campaign time all the way till now. Of course, we might be expecting the arrest a message, which has to do with the 5-point arrest that will jumpstart the economy and providing jobs for Liberians. But what's your take? Your inputs are very, very needed. Your comments are needed. And we'll be here to bring you all the analysis right after the program, the speech. We'll be here to dissect the key points. Still tuned, share the broadcast, of course. I will take a quick break and get back and see what is going on in collaboration with our guys. Of course, you can see there's money kept on right in the back there. A couple of top government officials, business leaders in the country. They've already made their way through. So this is very important to the nation. Very, very important. We need to see how he's going to jumpstart the economy. What is left in the coffers of the nation by President George Manawia? We want to know, because this is the mistake that George Weah made when he took from Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. He could not disclose what was left in the coffers. That's, of course, the current speaker, Jay Fonati Kofa, that you're seeing right there, already ready, well seated. So we want to see what this speech will be made of. I hope they will be able to cut this speech to at most an hour, 45 minutes to an hour, because with the air conditioning in there, I think he will be able to take it. I'm very, very confident that it took complete cognizance of what transpired on the day of inauguration on the 22nd. Very, very much. So I am putting myself in the back, and I will try to get a hold of our guys to see as to what is going on with the audio feed. Until then, I'll be right back.
Safogo. You know it's session here. Push the chair. Safogo. Safogo. You're working on ready to use it.
Ah, yeah, man. Okay. No. What? Apa ni, man?
distinguished guests, I'm pleased to announce the arrival of the Vice President. AFL, I'm pleased to announce the arrival of the Vice President of the Republic of Liberia and members of the Senate. All present, please rise. Mr. Speaker, distinguished guests, I'm pleased to announce the arrival of the Vice President of the Republic of Sierra Leone.
The Sergeant at Arms will call the session to order.
Good afternoon, Mr. Speaker, the President of the Senate, and members of the 55th Legislature of the Republic of Liberia, honorable ladies and gentlemen. I have the honor to announce to you the opening of the second joint session of the 55th Legislature of the Republic of Liberia for the purpose of the President of the Republic of Liberia to deliver his annual message to the 55th Legislature of the Republic of Liberia. And now, therefore, this session is hereby called to order, and it is hereby so ordered.
Session called to order. Madam Chief Clerk, have you conducted an inquiry as to whether or not we have a quorum for the conduct of business, and do you have a report in such regard?
Honorable Councillor J. Fonati Kofa, Speaker of the House of Representatives of the 55th Legislature and presiding officer of this joint legislative section, His Excellency Vice President Jeremiah Kwan, President of the Liberian Senate, Senator Nyomli Kanga Lawrence, President pro tempore, Honorable Thomas P. Falla, Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives of the 55th Legislature, honorable ladies and gentlemen. I'm honored to announce, in consultation with my counterparts of the Liberian Senate, that there is a quorum for the transaction of this joint legislative business solely intended to receive His Excellency Joseph Numa Boakai, Sr., President of the Republic of Liberia, to present to this body his administration's legislative program for the ensuing section. I so submit. Thank you.
With the report that we have a quorum available to conduct business today. We entertain a motion to convene in joint legislative session for the sole purpose of hearing the President's annual message. Honorable Rugi Berry.
Honorable Speaker, Honorable Councillor J. Fonati Kofa, the President of the Senate, His Excellency Jeremiah Kuhn, the President pro tempore, Senator Yumli Kanga Lawrence, our distinguished colleagues, I move, if I may obtain a second, that this section, this joint section, that we start this joint section that is strictly for the purpose of the purpose of receiving His Excellency Joseph Yuman Burka, Senior, President of the Republic of Liberia, to deliver his administration's legislative function.
Senator Augustine Pierre.
Honorable Speaker, Mr. President of the Senate, Madam President pro tempore, distinguished colleagues, I, Augustine S. Chair, Senator of Sino County, do hereby second the motion.
Ladies and gentlemen, it has been moved and seconded. And without stating the motion, restating the motion, are you ready to vote? All those in favor of convening into joint legislative session, please make it known by saying aye. All those opposed say nay. The ayes have it. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now convene in session. For what purpose the gentleman raised his hand? Order denied. Let him continue. Honorable Koloba, I would like for you to raise your information. I'm trying to give you enough latitude. No. I'm sorry. I won't allow you to the premise. Just give your information so we can rule on it. Information denied. I think at this point we ask the Joint Executive Committee to proceed to the main entrance or wherever the president may be accommodated on the grounds of the Capitol for the purpose of receiving him and escorting him to chambers.
Okay, folks. So what you just saw there is the joint session has opened up, has begun, and of course, you saw Honorable Yake Kaluba putting a motion as in that body should not be taken as a party ground. And I think he's coming from the backdrop of having some CDC lawmakers wearing berets as though it is a party ground. So I think that is what he was trying to send across to the speaker, but the motion was denied. Just as we await the president to be escorted into the hall, that is the information that you have so far, and that is what you were observing. You know, it is the both sessions are at work right now. They are doing business, trying to receive the president to give his annual message to the nation. Until then, still tuned here at Talk TV Media Network. My name is Sam Gadu. I'm working in collaboration with our guys on the ground, LBS, as well. So enjoy the show, enjoy it, and let's all dissect the speech when the president comes in. You see so many government officials, um, Councillor Bromskin, Alexander Cummins, not Bromskin, Alexander Cummins, excuse me. Bromskin is dead and gone to heaven. May his soul rest in peace. But his word you see right there is Money Captain as well, current chief at the Liberia Electricity Corporation. And the military is flanked on the other side with him as well. A lot of business and government top brass, government officials. So still tuned here at Talk TV Media Network. Don't go away. We'll bring you the happenings in and outside. And of course, we do have our guys positioned outside the capital as well. And we'll be bringing that live feed pretty soon as well. So on the stage, there is the speaker from Natikofa and followed by the vice president, Jeremiah Kuhn, and also by the pro tem, Yomli Kanga Lawrence, as well as the deputy speaker, Thomas Fala. That is what you are saying right there on the stage. Folks, follow us here, Talk TV Media Network. We're here to bring you information, professional for your own chewing, whatever you call it. So I'm going to sit back in the back, just like you, and watch everything play out. That is the fun part of it. Watch it out, listen to it. And of course, that's a clergy right there, members of the religious community. They are all flanked over there. The Muslims, the Christians, whatever faith you see, they all are on that side of the So right now we're waiting on the president to arrive. 15 minutes. We have 15 minutes left. By 4 p.m. Liberian time, prompt. 4 p.m. prompt. The president will deliver his message to the nation. So right now, what you see is just a delay. They're waiting on time. Just almost similar to what we witnessed when the inauguration was taking place. While the Chief Justice was waiting for the 12 o'clock hour mark to have the president sworn in. And you, of course, you just saw former ANC, another opposition boss candidate, Alexander Cummins, right there, flanked around with the GDM. I did see GDM candidate as well, and also Yakula. A lot of big names, a lot of stakeholders are there today. So watch it, folks. There you have it.
Mr. Speaker, and members of the legislature, I am honored to announce the President of Liberia and the First Lady of the Republic of Liberia.
Mr. Vice President, allow me to recognize the presence of the Vice President of Sierra Leone, who is here with a message from my friend and brother, the President Julius Mara Bio, the President of the Sister Republic of Sierra Leone. Madam President Pro Tempore, members of the legislature, Madam Chief Justice and Justice of the Supreme Court, the doyen and members of the diplomatic corps, heads and officials of political parties, representatives of our international and development partners, prelates and imams, our traditional leaders, members of the full estate, my fellow Liberians, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. We are thankful to the Lord Almighty, the preserver of our state, for his abundant blessings upon us. As the world confronts various crises, wars, pandemics, climate change, and migration, we pray for better, more peaceful, sustainable, and inclusive global order. Exactly 1 week ago, Vice President Jeremiah Kuhn and I took the oath of office as an array of the world leaders, friends, and citizens of Liberia, the home and in the diaspora, looked on. That solemn occasion marked another historical moment in our democracy as we carried out the transfer of power. In obedience to our constitutional duty, it is an honor to come before this august body, the people's representative, to report on the national situation as we met it and present our agenda for development in the coming year. We must acknowledge the harsh realities that face us as we report that the state of our nation is not what we desire. It is important to note problems that confront us: poverty, drug epidemic, corruption, poor infrastructure, and an underperforming economy. The current challenges present us a unique opportunity to embark on a new journey of hope. This is our commitment to rescue the nation. Our vision. Our vision, as revealed in Arrest, ARREST, meaning agriculture, roads, rule of law, education, sanitation, and tourism, shall guide the preparation of our new medium-term national development plan. For the welfare of our people, we must harness opportunities in agriculture, roads, and other infrastructure development, improve the rule of law, rethink the education sector, improve sanitation, and unlock the potential of tourism. We believe that creating economic linkages between these development facets and reinforcing them will help reverse the years of economic downturns. The state of the economy. The state of the economy is a cause for concern, with many of our citizens facing perennial unemployment and economic instability. We must not just recognize the pain and frustration that permeate our society, but also work together to introduce and pass legislations that will prioritize economic reforms and foster sustainable economic growth and job creation. Distinguished legislators, economic growth slowed between 2022 and 2023 from 4.8% to 4.6%. The rate of growth averaged about 1.5% compared with 3.1% between 2012 and 2017, due in part to an underperforming economy and existing geopolitical global environment. During the past 6 years, the economy faced challenges in terms of growth, job creation, and poverty reduction. Inflation during the period 2023 rose to 10.1% at the end of December from 7.6% in 2022. Revenue collection, as reported for 2023, stood at $710.23 million US, while expenditure totaled $796.32 million. Hence, a large budget deficit of over $80 million. We intend to change the state of economy by thinking outside the box. A paradigm shift away from reliance on our primary commodity export to focusing on value addition with the private sector as the engine to drive the economy. Under my administration, the empowerment of the Liberian entrepreneurship through more support will help bring back the Made in Liberia quest, the inclusive and sustainable growth and jobs. In our quest to expand the economy, we encourage information communication technology, ICT, and the job creation, especially for the youth. To achieve this, my administration will train up to 10,000 young people in various digital skills in the first half of 2024. The Liberian middle class goal must be a reality in the next 6 years. The next net international reverses position reported at the end of December 2023 was $220 million. The report of US $40 million at the GOL's consolidated account balance as of January 19, 2024 is not supported by the fact. The balance reported by the CBL as of the same date was $20.5 million, highly incumbent, not $40 million. To this end, we will re-emphasize our earlier commitment to audit and show that regular audits will be the culture across all branches regular audit will be the culture across all branches of government, not only the executive. The stock of public debt at the end of December 2023 stood at $2.21 billion, an increase of 8.67% compared to the end of December 2022 stock of $2.08 billion. This represents a sharp increase of $1.33 billion compared to the end of December 2017 stock of $878.17 million, representing 601.8% rise. Our debt burden has clearly grown astronomically. Suddenly, the rescue mission was necessary for Liberia's transformation. As I am speaking, Liberia is under sanction for lack of payment of dues to the African Union and the African Development Bank. Also, a default in the payment of about $650,000 to the European Investment Bank is preventing the disbursement of $30 million for Sanikoe-Lugato Road. We will reintroduce the fiscal rules and travel ordinance, in addition to our measures to help address waste and abuse and ensure the return of prudent fiscal management. We will ensure that the executive leads by example. Agriculture. Liberia is endowed with abundant natural resources. With over 40% of West Africa's rainforest, our country is home to a diverse array of flora and fauna that should help provide economic and agricultural growth opportunities. Liberia is also a leader in the discussion on climate change mitigation, further emphasizing the importance of international partnership for sustainable agricultural production and development. However, It is important to recognize that our available arable land is underutilized. My government is committed to harnessing the right resources, strengthening collaboration with international partners and local farmers to improve production. Legislative agenda. Our legislative agenda is aimed at working with you in doing the business of the people, for which proposed legislation will be submitted in coming months. We will focus on shaping the outcome for desired by our new development agenda. The following constitute the development agenda. The Presidential Transition Act. The Presidential Transition Act was drafted in 2017 to provide the appropriate and legal framework for seamless transition from one democratically elected president to the other. The draft bill has since been lingering with little or no action to move it to legislation. Given the difficulty in establishing the appropriate framework to guide the recent presidential transition, my government will immediately review the draft bill for submission to the legislature for passage. When passed, the Presidential Transition Act will provide a legal basis for smooth transfer of political power. Bill for the establishment of the Ministry of Local Government. This bill is aimed at advancing modalities to operationalize the Local Government Act passed in 2018 to fast-track the transitioning of the Ministry of Internal Affairs to the new Ministry of Local Government. The Ministry of Local Government will have the authority to drive the government's decentralization program, operationalizing the revenue sharing law. The revenue sharing law needs to be synchronized with existing laws, including the Project Financial Management Act, PFMA, and the current Revenue Code. The revenue sharing law passed in 2022, and these two other instruments were designed for different systems of government. While the new Revenue Sharing Act is designed to facilitate fiscal decentralization in a decentralized system of governance, the other two cater to a centralized system where the sub-national bodies do not have any authority to use a portion of locally generated revenue. This has left county service centers that should be functioning and raising revenue, often stranded to raise operational costs. We will work with the relevant institutions of government to align the new law with existing law, popularize the law, and ensure adherence and enforcement across the country. The passage of the National Tourism Bill. One of the major recommendations that came out of the mandate and functional review of the Ministry of Information, Culture Affairs, and Tourism was the need to divest culture and tourism from the Ministry of Information. The National Tourism Bill has since been sent to the legislature with a first public hearing. Improving tourism is one of the pillars of the arrest agenda. We will work with the legislature on the status of the bill pending necessary action to complete the process. Once passed, Liberia will have a national tourism authority mandated to draw regulations and appropriate governing framework for tourism sector. Establishment of the Office of Ombudsman. Passage of the Code of Conduct for public officials had not had the full effect of the law. A major hurdle is a lack of implementation infrastructure. To this end, there is a need to reestablish the Office of the Ombudsman. When established, this office will supervise and enforce all provisions of the Code of Conduct and will also impose sanctions for infractions. We must begin looking at appointing an individual with a requisite moral standing to head and run the office. Amendment to the new Financial Institution Act. As part of the CBL financial sector reform in 2023, the bank submitted to the Office of the President a new banking law to replace the existing new Financial Act of 1999. The act was submitted to the National Legislature for enactment, but is still pending passage. In the coming days, my administration will work with the leadership of the legislature to ensure new Banking Act is passed into law. Amendment and Restated Payment System Act. An amended and Restated Payment System Act is currently being reviewed by my administration. The act, when passed into law, will help strengthen the means of mobile payments across platforms and enhance the drive towards cashless society. Liberia Insurance Regulatory Commission Act. The Central Bank of Liberia is working on a draft Liberia Insurance Regulatory Commission Act, which is currently being shared with stakeholders for their input, following which it will be submitted to passage into law. We are also working on the draft bill for the National Health Insurance Scheme for Liberia. This scheme is intended to reduce out-of-pocket costs for citizens and enhance access to affordable and quality health care. The Paris Agreement, 2015 Paris Agreement. The threat of climate change to our environment and the way of life is becoming obvious by the day, which is why we must join the rest of the world to address the causes of this phenomenon. I call on the legislature to work with us to begin looking at the Paris Agreement, including the carbon market, to ensure our national interest is protected. The list of protocols, conventions, and other instruments will be forwarded to you for consideration and appropriate action. Road infrastructure development. Expanding and improving road network in our country remains a top priority for our administration. While there has been some progress in the road transport sector during the review period, there remain considerable challenges in the road development. Mr. Vice President, Senator, Speaker, the Honorable Legislature, ladies and gentlemen, the total paved roads in our national network amount to 1,131.1 kilometers, representing 8.7% of the 13,000 kilometer road network we need. This fact underscores considerable challenges in road infrastructure and the urgent need to fund road development in our country. With associate assistance from friendly partners, the country made notable progress in paving some primary roads, including the corridors, the Banga to Salaye, the Ganta to Saklipye, the Ganta to Yekepa, and the Sanekwe to Lugatu. In addition, as of now, 37.7% of work on the ELBA to RIA road project has been accomplished. To access all county capitals, my government will work to alleviate the problem faced by commuters using these primary roads, especially during the rainy season. The situation also causes major impediments to the economic development of our people, as these primary routes are major economic corridors to all parts of the country. The restoration of county road maintenance stations will be a key deliverable. This is why we have commissioned a no car stop in the mud 100-day deliverable to make all major primary roads pliable. Our flagship road delivery program will include the Freeport to the Simple Bridge Road. Having received funding through the government of Japan, we'll begin construction of a 4-lane road from the Gabriel Tucker Bridge to the Freeport of Monrovia. Additionally, the government of Japan is expected to provide funds to expand the Gabriel Tucker Bridge to 4 lanes. The government has also secured additional support from Japan for the conduct of feasibility studies for the expansion of the Freeport to St. Paul Bridge corridor. My government will allocate funds to complete the 6.5-kilometer Freeport to St. Paul Bridge Road. Mr. Vice President, Mr. Speaker, Madam Pro Tempore, and honorable legislators, my government will ensure the funding from the National Road Fund is utilized to maintain and rehabilitate roads for the good of our public. Through the contribution of Liberians who pay their fuel levies from every gallon of gasoline or fuel or the purchase, we will continue to expand the maintenance program in maintaining our existing network and the construction of new community roads. The honorable legislators, I would like you to join me in extending sincere gratitude to our development partners, which include the European Union, the European Investment Bank, the World Bank, the United States Agency for International Development, the UK Aid, the German government, KfW, and GIZ. I would like to also thank our Arab partners, including the Saudi Fund, the Kuwaiti Fund, Badia, as well as the Japanese government and JICA, the Swedish government, the Chinese government, and this China Aid program, the Norwegian government, the Indian government, the African Development Bank, FDB, and ECOWAS for their many contributions to our infrastructure development. foreign policy. Mr. Vice President, Mr. Speaker, Madam President Pro Tempore, members of the legislature, as a founding member of the most continental and multilateral institution, we will continue to honor our obligations. Liberia continues to foster cordial relationship with other countries in the community of nations and maintains its current membership with multilateral organizations like the United Nations, ECOWAS, Mono River Union, and the African Union. We will continue to pursue a policy of good neighborliness as we remain in peaceful coexistence with our immediate neighbors. Mr. Vice President, Mr. Speaker, Madam Pro Tempore, honorable legislators. As a nation with a proud history of regional leadership, our standing among the Community of Nations is undermined when we fail to meet our obligation as a sovereign state. Therefore, it is imperative to reclaim our standing in the Community of Nations. My government will work with the legislature to ensure arrears are settled. The civil service. There's an estimated 70,000 employees, including appointed officials in the government of Liberia. These command a total wage bill of $300 million annually. The growth in the size of government has not been proportional to the growth in the revenue and the efficiency and the effectiveness of our government. This means that wage continues to consume a sizable portion of the total budget, strangulating service delivery in all initiatives and obligations of the government. So, the government faces the situation stunted growth and non-investment in the lives of the people. To make the government more effective and efficient, we must focus on public service delivery. The people, not the government, must come first. Health. Health and sanitation remain a major priority of our government. In the health sector, my government will prioritize the following: the availability of needed medical supplies and logistics in all public health institutions throughout the length and breadth of the nation. Regular, efficient, and robust monitoring and evaluation of health services in the country to accelerate the reduction of maternal and newborn mortality. The establishment of regional diagnostic centers, regulation of healthcare and pharmaceutical institutions in the country to meet international standards. Our recent experience in Ebola and COVID-19 requires our full support in treating national public health with utmost importance in Liberia as it relates to emergency preparedness and response. This requires a more coordinated way of building a more resilient health infrastructure to address current health challenges and future health shocks. Honorable legislators, the drug epidemic, especially the use of kush, in our country is an existential threat, eating away the future of our children and the country. We must stand up and face this national security race together. Given the need for immediate action to make good my pledge to the thousands of families burdened by this crisis, I am hereby declaring drug and substance abuse as a public health emergency. In this direction, I am establishing a multi-sectorial steering committee comprising the following agencies: the Ministry of Health, with chair, Ministry of Justice, co-chair, Ministry of Youth and Sport, member, Ministry of Gender, Children, Social Protection, member, Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency, member, Ministry of Finance and Development Planning, member. In this fight, me and my vice president will be the first to take drug tests Me and my vice president will be the first to take drug tests, and I urge all others to follow. Education. Education remains a beacon of hope, but our educational system has been a downward spiral over the years, leaving countless Liberian children without the tools that they need to build a better tomorrow. It is a problem we must confront head on. Education is not a privilege, it is a fundamental right. We cannot turn a blind eye to the fact that a significant portion of our population is struggling with a lack of access to quality education. And there is no other way that we can genuinely seek to successfully fight poverty without the provision of quality education to our people. Starting now, my administration is making a steadfast commitment to revitalize our educational system. We'll invest in education infrastructure and provide adequate resources. In this, we crave your support. Good governance, honorable legislators, our commitment to good governance is unwavering. Transparency, accountability, the rule of law will guide our actions. We will fight corruption and build institutions that serve our people's interest. A government that is accountable to its citizens is a government that can truly serve the needs of its people. Mr. Vice President, President of the Senate, Mr. Speaker, members of the legislature, our justice system is meant to protect the innocent and punish the guilty, has been marred by inefficiency, corruption, and lack of public trust. I am counting on this honorable body to pass effective legislation and support financial appropriation that will help us to win the fight against corruption. Anyone caught in the act of corruption will face the full weight of the law with swift and non-discriminatory enforcement. democratic elections. Mr. Vice President, Mr. Speaker, Madam President Pro Tempore, and honorable legislators, we have had a successive peaceful transfer of power, establishing our credentials in emerging democracy following the Civil War. But while we proudly celebrate this achievement, we are not oblivious to the bottlenecks that regularly attend our elections and mar the electoral process. One of the vexing problems we noted during our past election is voter registration and the associated logistical problems, which tend to frustrate and anger voters and political parties. My government will strengthen the National Identification Registry to build the needed capacity to be able to capture the comprehensive biometric data needed to feed all agencies, including the National Election Commission. In addition, my government will begin to review and implement electoral reform laws. The diaspora. Mr. President of the Senate, Mr. Speaker, members of the legislature, our Liberian brothers and sisters in the diaspora are an integral part of this nation. They are the extension of our national pride. They share in our nation's happiness and sadness. They are readily responsive to the needs of family members and friends in times of difficulty. Liberians in the diaspora have a stake in the future of Liberia, and my administration will be intentional about ensuring that their stake in Liberia is fully honest. I have therefore proposed an annual diaspora conference on the national development. I commend the acts of the 54th legislature and the past administration for their action to remove the unfair burden of citizenship against Liberians who have chosen to explore opportunities in other parts of the world. I am glad that the slogan, once Liberian, always Liberian, now has a meaning. We will establish clear and predictable policies that link where diaspora Liberians can play more meaningful roles in the Liberian future. Necrology. The nation lost some of the prominent citizens during the year in review. Special condolences go to the families of the victims of the tanker explosion in Turtle, Bond County. Among those who have joined our ancestors are former Assistant Minister Mr. Victor Daniel Kweku, 90 years, Ambassador Hannah Abiedu Boyer Jones, 89 years, Commissioner James Joey McGill Sr., 86 years, Deputy Minister Dr. Edward Gimba Goba, 78 years, Senator Daniel Nathan of Buffalo County, and former Deputy Speaker Hans Bachu of Grand Bassa County. We also mourn all those who lost their lives during the just ended legislative presidential election. A fuller list will be published. Mr. Vice President, Mr. Speaker, Madam Pro Tempore, and honorable members of the legislature. The state of our nation is in distress, but the hope of our people is alive. We have all it takes to overcome the burden we have imposed on ourselves through greed and corruption. When we work together, there is nothing we cannot overcome as a people. This is why I ask all of you representatives of our people to join me to do the business of the Liberian people by not doing business as usual. The time for mindset shift is now. We must be selfless in our service to bring about the change the Liberian people are yearning for. Again, I challenge you to join me to think Liberia, love Liberia, and build it. I want to thank you. May God bless the works of our hands and save the state.
The committee will escort the president out of the chambers. The Joint Legislative Executive Committee.
Okay, folks, business is not over yet. As you can see, both session of the houses is still in session, and Speaker of Fanatical was from the end in the session. So as you can see, that's why you see it happening.
The legislature will be in order. Honorable Cully, the legislature will be in order. The Sergeant at Arms, please close the doors when our guest leaves. Okay, having exhausted the agenda for the purpose of which we appeared here today, we will entertain a motion to adjourn this joint session. Senator Amara Kone.
Mr. Speaker, Mr. Vice President and President of the Senate, Madam Pro Tem, Mr. Deputy Speaker, I move, if I can obtain a second, that this joint session of the legislature for the purpose of receiving the President's State of the Nation address be adjourned.
Honorable Bernard Benson.
Honorable Speaker, Honorable President of the Senate, Honorable Pro Tem, Honorable Deputy Speaker, esteemed colleagues, I, Bernard Blue Benson Jr., representing the gallant people of Electoral District number 17, Montserrat County, so second the motion for adjournment.
An undebatable motion being proffered, the session is adjourned.
Okay, folks, there you have it. There you have it. Right now, what's taking place, this session has been adjourned. Welcome and thank you for following us, Talk TV Media Network. to be a part of this all important broadcast today. So, welcome to the show. Welcome to Talk TV Media Network. Of course, we'll keep that live feed right at the bottom of the screen for your own viewing as well. So that way you'll be able to see what is happening on the outside, on the grounds of the county. Okay. We are again trying to get a hold of the audio from the outside of the grounds as to what's happening there for you guys to be able to get everything that's happening. We are trying every best way to making sure that you don't miss anything. A lot of videos I'm playing around here with. So the president speech went well. It went for exactly 45 minutes. 45 minutes. Just to give you a recap of what happened. 45 minutes, the president was able to go. And he spoke. Many were expecting him to faint. But that did not happen. Let me see what is taking place here. So 45 minutes, the president spoke on his first speech to the nation. And he talked about the arrest vision that he spoke about throughout the course of the elections, of course, that took place. Quickly, I'm going to summarize, and then we'll leave the rest of the work for the guys to do. He talked about the arrest. He talked about job creation and economic growth as well. The revenue of the country is in a mess, folks. What was left in the coffers, 2025.
I got him clear. He said to the legislature that the state of the nation is in distress. That's why he has come on a rescue mission to recover from that distress to the part of prosperity, and economic improvement. He started his speech by saying that his government will help recover the years of economic downturn. There are a lot of programs that he's promising to make sure once they are implemented, the quality of life will improve in the country. He always said that. Not too long on Monday, he was here when he stated that he's going to make sure that Liberians live dignified life. And the president re-emphasized, that issue today as well. He talked about general improvement, working on across all fronts, investment in agriculture, and those key areas that will facilitate economic growth. Those issues have already been earmarked, and we look forward to kicking off this government to show that they deliver to the people of Liberia. Now, the issue of audit. You can be pushing economic prosperity and you can account for public money. So he stated clearly that audit will be a normal culture under his government, and audit will not be restricted to only the executive this time around. All branches of government, even private sector entities that receive government money, should also account for the stewardship of those funds that were given to them. So it's like an eye opener for Liberians to see a leader being so open, so bold, speaking to his people in this manner. It's like a dawn of a new day. Liberians are very optimistic that this president is up for business.
The president talked about civil service. He was talking about value for money, for an example. What did any of you can take this? What did you pick up from there? Where perhaps the number of persons that should be doing a piece of job is way beyond the work that is supposed to be done. So when you're talking value for money, you want to make sure that you get the true value for what you spend.
Yeah.
You pick up from that as well?
Sometimes in economic sense of things, wherever you have more people, real wages is lower.
Yeah.
But there are smaller people working effectively and efficiently. They are well paid.
Yeah.
So one of the key areas that we have heard the president will be focusing on is to review the civil service, the workforce at the disposal of the government, and see where the loopholes are. We are told that there are a lot of people that were brought into government. Some of them are not even in existence. They are not working. They are not physically present at government ministries and agencies. But those are people who place a deep hole in the national purse. So it's going to be a good start. Value for money in the sense that those who are actually working will be identified and well compensated, like the president always put it, to make sure that they live a dignified and well, befitting life. He has said that even though there was criticism during the campaign where people said, "Oh, the man said he will reduce the civil service," but it's not like you are reducing the civil service. It's like you come into power, reviewing what you have at your disposal and seeing how you can maximize the quality of the individuals that will stay on board to get the job done, and in so doing be well compensated.
Yeah, and you also place some attention on the issue of health.
Yeah. So quickly, because we are getting signal that we should, conclude. So quickly, I'm also excited because the issue of healthcare in this country that has been deteriorating state. At long last, there's accessibility of healthcare delivery in the country. In his speech, has become a priority. He also spoke of the national health insurance scheme for Liberians, and that is good news, taking into consideration the state of the health care delivery in the country. So I must commend him for that, and we look forward to more.
And let me say thank you to all of you viewers. It was a very wonderful State of the Nation. The president ended on a very high note. He received standing ovation. The speech went for like 45, 46 minutes.
Yeah, 46 minutes.
And then he had a lot of energy from start to end.
Exactly.
And it's almost like a complete turnaround.
Yeah, let me say congratulations to the Joint Committee on the Executive for a good job done. They have, in a short space of time. Remember now, some of them, they are just coming, but they did extremely well to organize this program. I was in there not too long, and I saw the organizational foundation of all this, and it was a well-befitting location. I'm sure the next time we are back here, it will be better than what we are seeing here today. But organizational-wise, it's top-notch. It's high quality.
So you are right. We have the ambulances still around. You have handheld fans, a lot of them around.
Yeah, well, distributed by the thing.
You have a lot of food around. I mean, this was really, 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 really remarkable.
Well,
thank all of you, our technicians.
This is unprecedented.
Thank them for a great job.
Yeah. Our team here, a team of technicians, videographers, headed by the chief engineer of the Liberia Broadcasting System, Mr. Williams, Mr. Carr, Alexander Wiapla, and the rest of
Princess
the crew.
And Jerry is sweating. Jerry has been the son since we started this broadcast.
Yeah.
And we must commend you, Jerry.
So we encourage you to tune into ELBC. Follow this. I'm sure as time goes by, we'll be in the news. We'll be
So for the entire week, we are going to delve into the speech. Every day is another angle.
You can also log into our Facebook page, and that's LNTV Liberia Life.
And also on the internet at www.elbc.
My name is Cecilia Clark. Thanks for being there.
Okay, folks. Thanks, guys. Thank you very much. That was a very good coverage. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And so, pretty soon, I'm just going to summarize the president's speech, and I will be taking my leave as well. But those of you who have been able to join us via Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, thank you, thank you, thank you. Follow us. You can rewatch this speech, the entire program of the president's speech to the nation. So, as you can see, the president was able to talk about the arrest program that I was talking about earlier on. That is, of course, what he talked about. He talked about a deficit. You know, earlier on, former President George Weah had mentioned that he left within the coffers of the nation 40 point something million. He said that is not true. All the technicians and economics went to work, and what they saw in the account, what they met is 20.5 million. So that is one thing that he stressed on for the nation to know. It's very important that you know these numbers, how he's taking over the economy. The economy of the state is depleted, you know. And of course, he talked about 80 million deficit. 80 million in deficit. Liberia is in debt, my people. Far more than what they took, what Ellen Johnson Sirleaf left. More debt. Big time. That's what he talked about. And numbers don't lie. That's the thing. Numbers do not lie. It's there in the National Reserve of the country. It's there, Ministry of Finance. You know, these are professionals, technocrats, you know, that were able to put all these things together. So he talked about audits, that yes, with this kind of economy, there will be auditing. A lot of auditing done. Government officials, people must be held accountable for their actions and punished when they are guilty. He talked about that as well. So he also talked about the Presidential Transitioning Act draft that has been made long time, but it has been sitting in the House untouched because of what we all saw and witnessed during the inauguration of President Joseph Numa Boakai. The transitioning process was very poorly designed. There were a lot of hurdles and hiccups. So that, you know, that act, he said that act must be passed for further transitioning to make government easily transfer power with no trouble. And he said that act, the legislature must pass. And also he talked about the National Tourism Bill passage. Of course, he recognized the importance of tourism in the nation, you know, which is very, very key because tourism brings a lot of money to the country. It brings a lot of economic growth to the nation. So he talked about tourism, very, very important. And a new banking act. He also talked about a new banking act in order for mobile banking and people to just don't be traveling with so much money in your hand. You know, here in America, in the diaspora world, you know, you don't see people just holding cash. And it will eliminate a lot of corruption. That is what that does. When you are doing electronic money transfers and stuff, bank cards and all of that, mobile banking, you know, a lot of that, when that is being introduced to the nation and those institutions are put in place, a lot will take place. It will eliminate a lot of corruption, a lot of stealing, you know, because there is always a paper trail. So that's one aspect. Mobile banking. He talked about climate change, climate control. Climate change is something that is real, something that we should not negate or sweep under the rug because it's taking place. Climate change is what we experienced during his inauguration. The weather is so hot and so humid to the point where someone lost their life, someone died. And he almost died too. So many of you saw that. So climate change is real. The ocean, West Point that we used to know during our days in the 80s or 90s, that West Point is gone by the ocean, you know, just in minute. So climate change is real, folks. He talked about that. Roads connectivity. Of course, he mentioned that is going to be, that has and will be the central point of his administration: road connectivity, major roads, around the country, because he understands that they will bring economic growth. Roads, roads, roads. So he talked about that. He talked about foreign policy, dealing with foreign policy. You know what that means. He talked about healthcare. He recognized the importance of healthcare, holding health officials accountable, and making sure health centers across the country have medicine and equipment well enough to be able to facilitate our people, to take care of the people, the Liberian people. So healthcare is very paramount. And in connection with healthcare, he recognized the importance and the significance of drugs. Drugs, the infiltration, what drugs has done to our country. And he specifically mentioned Kush. Kush is a drug that is destroying our young people, our young generation. And he also said that he and his vice president will be the one to set the example, because he recognized change begins from the top. For their drug tests, they will be the first. They want to administer drug tests, let the country know that they are drug-free as leaders. And he cautioned and urged government officials, all government officials, to do their own drug tests too, which is good. That's a very good sign. I really, he actually put a team together immediately that will begin to confront that. That is good, because drugs has caused a lot of crime in our country. A lot of the crimes that you see taking place is due to drugs. A lot of that. So he recognized that need. And also the aspect of corruption in government places. He is going to deal with corruption, as he mentioned, that it doesn't matter how connected you are to him. If you are found guilty, the law will deal with you. No segregation, no favoritism. About that, about corruption in high places. If you think that you are coming into Joseph Nima Boakar's administration to steal, think twice again. The old mayor can tell his team people can be overlooking it, but he mean it. So you don't really want to be disgraced. Don't try it. You try it, you're gonna feel the weight. That I can assure. So he talked about the importance of the diaspora. Those of us who are in the diaspora, the extension of our national pride. He mentioned that those in the diaspora, those of us, are the extension of the country's national pride. He understands and also knows the remittances, how we take care of our families, how much money we get to send throughout the year. So much money just to boost the economy up, take care of our families, invest in businesses and stuff in our economy to grow it. He understands that. So there is no way, according to him, that you can differentiate or separate the Liberian that left Liberia, that is overseas, looking for greener pastures, right? He said, once a Liberian, always a Liberian. Once a Liberian, always a Liberian. Folks, so there you have it. That's the summary of the president. But it is very, very much shocking that the country is left with 20.5 million. Nothing. That's like less than a month, the revenue alone. That means the country is in debt. Liberia, just as Nima Boakai administration is in debt to even pay the civil servants. And that is why the financiers like Amara Kone and all the newly appointed Minister of Finance, Boma Kamara, they all, as well as Senator Dillon, kept saying, Liberians, manage your expectations because the government is broke. It's broke. It's a mess, complete mess. He talked about Japan coming up with a very good relationship when it comes to the roads conditions in building four-ways, all of that stuff, and completing the Roberts Fee International Airport Highway as well. And also a lot of things are in place. And I think once he's moving in the right direction, the international support will come in. One thing, though, that I did not hear him talk about is the war crime code, and we probably will dissect that in our evening broadcast, folks. The war crime code. I did not hear that. Maybe if I did, it probably fly through my ear. But when the speech comes, we'll post the speech on our Facebook platform, on our website, www.talktvmedia.com, on our YouTube page. You'll have the entire speech for your analysis. But that is the summary. On the overall, I think it's a good speech. It's a good start. It's a good beginning. He's going to make some flaws. He's going to make, the government's going to make some mistakes. But at the same time, we just need a safe environment, because Liberians are not lazy people. Once you make that environment viable, we'll thrive in it. We'll do better. We'll do well in it. So, folks, this is how I come from my end to the end of this broadcast. Thank you. I know the talking points will be so many. People will be all out there. Those who are on the negative side, some of us are here independently to dissect and then hold him to the fire, because the things that he promised, he must do. The things that he promised the Liberian people, he must do. And that is why. Until then, folks, watch us again. My name is Sam Gadu, analyzing the State of the Union, Sona address by His Excellency Joseph Nyuma Boakai. I look forward to seeing you this evening. The arrest program, of course, is this that you can see right there. Let me remove this from the screen just so you know. The arrest program includes agriculture, roads, education, sanitation, and of course, tourism. That is the arrest program the President Joseph Nyuma Boakai was talking about. So, folks, there you have it. There you have it.
Ego, the way we suffer on the land to vote.
Tokyo.
I hope this new government will do something better for us. So the hard time is too much.
Well, the way the new government will start work, that's how we will know if the government will be a good government or not.
Like how now?
My sister, the number one problem Liberia has is the Krokoji, Didiba, Koyokaya, Koni, Mango, corruption in government. Then they can say the place where you tie the goat, that the place the goat can eat.
Exactly so.
So for us to know for true that this new government is not an other full government, then before His Excellency Joseph Nyuma Boakai can sit in the chair as president, he must first tell the Liberian people the money he get, the land, the number of houses, the company, and everything he get, so that when his time finish and he tells us what thing he get, then it will be easy for the Liberian people to know that he did not take anything from them. And whatever he tells us should be put in the newspapers and on radio for the Liberian people to see kolo and where to where. That the one the Kui people can call asset declaration.
That one will be correct thing to do.
It will be correct.
Because every time they gave the Liberian people big government job, when you low, they can get a big car, big horses, they can have big party. They can use money just like water. Just that they can make matches to get the money. That one, we will not take it.
We will not take it.
JMB and his big government people, whether they go up, they can't down. We will not take it.
We will not take it.
We will not take it again. Ayaka.
That the one that will make Liberia to be sweet land of liberty for all the people of Liberia. This kriba, kobacho, mango business in government, it must stop now, and forever. Ego, Liberia, ego.
Yes, so government that place to serve, that place to see. JMB must start first, then everyone will follow. This is leadership by example.
Liberia, and build Liberia. Just
Liberia.
Joseph Walker says so.
Love Liberia.
Joseph Walker says so.
Ding Liberia.
Joseph Walker says so.
Love Liberia.
Joseph Walker says so.
Build Liberia.
Joseph Walker says so.
Build Liberia.
Joseph Walker says so.
The rescue train is moving. Get on board to rescue this nation.
Rescue.
Oh, from crimes and corruption.
Rescue.
From drugs and brain drain.
Rescue.
Oh, from poverty and hunger.
Rescue.
From incompetence and failure. Let's rescue this land. The rescue train is moving. Get on board to rescue this nation.
Rescue.
Oh, from crimes and corruption.
Rescue.
From drugs and brain drain.
Rescue.
Oh, from poverty and hunger.
Rescue.
From incompetence and failure.
Let's rescue this land. Liberians for Walker is on board to rescue this nation
Rescue.
from crimes and corruption.